Hello, and welcome to another episode of Things That Go Bump in the Night. Today is Valentine's Day. Wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. And the event that I want to cover tonight, as far as some paranormal activity that surrounds any event that happened on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1929 in Chicago. The infamous story in which many stories and movies have been written about and documentaries have been written about during the time of Prohibition, when gangs rose to power and vied in the Chicago area, and who was going to be the one that would sell it, just like the drug lords of today. But they were vying for the liquor economy and making money at it. And, rival gangs rose up. And in Chicago, there was a rival gang. That was the Italian gang led by Al Capone. Then you had Bugs Morano that was leading the German-Irish gang that was going on during that time. But it was on this particular day, they said it was a cold morning. Several Morano's people were together in a warehouse that was, I guess they were meeting. Morano himself wasn't there yet. He was running late, and that would probably be the very thing that saved his life, that when he was running late. But it was there were 7 members of Morano's gang, and they were standing around waiting. And then all of a sudden, 4 police officers showed up. 2 of them that were actually dressed as police officers. They disarmed every single one of them. And it was in a garage. They disarmed every single one of them. They lined them up on a brick wall. And in a hail of gunfire, it mowed them down. Machine gun fire could be heard from the Tommy guns as the rounds splintered and pierced through the body and stuck into the bricks and chipped the bricks. And the bricks got splattered with their blood as they laid down their life motionlessly. Bugs Morano arrived late, recognizing the police officers were fake, and fled. And he survived the bloody massacre on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1929. But since then, it's been a source of paranormal activity. I mean, the garage was torn down in 1967. The blood-soaked bricks that were originally there, they were actually, believe it or not, at that time, kind of macabre, but they were sold as souvenirs, and people actually bought them, and they took them home with them. But as all of this happens, that surrounds it, as always is a lot of times with paranormal activity, it seems violence gravitates toward the demonic side of the paranormal activity and evil spirits. They love to go to these places and relive and hash so that people will come and experience what had happened that day on their diabolical plans as they murdered humanity. But yet on this day too, there's been a lot of things, a lot of sightings. Witnesses claim that around this area now, the garage, like I said, even after 1967, when the garage was torn down, mowed down, and just become an empty lot at that time, people still go there to seek paranormal activity with their little EV readers and everything else, The one thing that I do know in Scripture a lot of times is that if you seek, you'll find. You keep on seeking, you're going to find. You keep on looking, you're going to find. You keep on doing something, you're going to find. You keep on playing around with the realm of darkness. Sooner or later, you're going to get burnt. And you need to be in a strong attitude, because the word is clear that in the end times, there's going to be fierce times or demonic times. The demonic's going to be more and more present. The paranormal is going to be everywhere. And they're just looking for an opportunity. But in this place of interest, that the address actually was 212 Clark Street, I believe it was. 212 North Clark Street is where it is. And people actually can still go there today, and they still do. But eyewitnesses that have gone there have claimed that they've heard phantom gunfire and screams, which, it's not uncommon. But the paranormal realm are experts at manufacturing and making sounds that sound just like and recreating scenes from that place. A lot of the Civil War places, people there, and they hear gunfire. I've been in a house before and I've heard gunfire. It sounds like gunfire going off or a door slam, and there's nothing there. It just wakes you up, startles you for a second. And so there's a lot of things that were going on. But witnesses say that they've heard gunfire. They've seen screams. They've seen the actual actors in the spiritual realm of apparitions, nothing more than familiar spirits. Remember, familiar spirits can turn themselves in and look like anything they want. They can make themselves into angels of light, is what the word declares. So it's not that hard for them to transmorphize before you into the very people that were there. Because to them, they know it cleanly and clearly they were there. But they would manifest as apparitions and people would fall to the ground, giving more and more notoriety to where they're at. And a full body ghost would appear, victims, We've talked about ghosts. I have my version of what ghosts are. I don't believe you're caught between two celestial planes as a Christian. I believe you go to one or two places when you die. Outside of that, you're dealing in paranormal activity from the realm of darkness that is manifesting themselves. And it's like I've said before, just because it's paranormal, not all paranormal stuff is bad. There are angels. There are manifestations of God's presence. But anyways, they're reacting to the lineup, vanishing, animal reactions. People talk about cold spells as they go by, like you get a cold chill. You ever been around someplace and all of a sudden you just kind of get a cold chill when you walk into the house, or you're just walking, everything's warm, and you walk into a place and it's a cold spot. It's a bright sunny day out. It's 90 degrees out, and yet you walk through a field that's beaming down with the sun, and all of a sudden you feel the cold chills in your hands and your hair and your arms standing up on end. That's our psychic energy, one of the realms of darkness to draw you in. But anyway, so they'd hear cold spells that were associated with it. Oh yeah, and those bricks that people bought that were blood-stained and blood-soaked. Well, a lot of people turned them in. Some of them ended up now in restaurants or in the mob museums. But some of those bricks, as they carried the weight of what went on and the spirits that followed those, and people said they actually started having a poltergeist activity, demons moving stuff around, noisy ghosts they call them, but they're noisy spirits, noisy demons, moving stuff around, nightmares, bad luck. They said Al Capone right after that. He was in Florida when this happened, so it gave him an alibi as to what happened. But everybody believed that Al Capone was part of it. And I think history dictates otherwise today that he was. But anyway, so he himself suffered from these activities that went around in his life, not only in his house in Florida, but later on when he was arrested and he was in jail. People would say sometimes they'd hear him screaming about an apparition named John Clark or spirit, and would be telling him to leave him alone. That type of lifestyle brings a lot of baggage with it, a lot of haunts and a lot of things that follow you, memories, spirits that have no problem waking you up in the middle of the night, messing with you and everything else like that there. So on this day in 1929 was the Valentine's Day Massacre, infamous for what's been going on. But yet it's still, in reality, these things happen today. They might not necessarily have a place where there was a massacre, but they do walk in, people unexpectedly walk into the paranormal. It happens around them. They walk into a house for some odd reason and things start to manifest. Or things follow the bloodline and then things start to manifest. So I just wanted to talk, not on the macabre sense. I actually would like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, because on this day it was St. Valentine's that would actually give out gifts to individuals during this time as a joyous time. But so I'm just asking you, hey, if you've experienced something crazy, been to a haunted place that's famous, or you've experienced something that's around there, hey, could you just leave a note in the comments? Can you just give me a thumbs up? Give me a like if you like this material, if you like this content. Hey, share it, like it, and I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. And subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Hey, and you all have a blessed day. And if you're going to take your loved one out tonight to celebrate Valentine's Day, or you're just going to kick it at home, hey, have a great time. Hey, God bless y'all. We'll see y'all later. Bye.